This is Eye on Careers. Executive CV. Ishwar Chugani is the Managing Director of apparel retailer Giordano Middle East, heading the group's business in the region as well as India, North Africa, Central Asia and Eastern Europe. Giordano Middle East is a 100% subsidiary of Giordano International Hong Kong and provides strategic support, logistics and management to Giordano's franchise partners across the region. Ishwar began his career in 1979 when he joined the Dubai-based Ita Ascom Group to set up Sindbad's Wonderland, the region's first indoor family entertainment center. In 1993, he negotiated and entered into an exclusive distribution agreement and joint venture with Giordano International. He has played an integral role in the growth of Giordano and its expansion. Today, Giordano operates 240 stores in the region, with expansion plans to reach at least 250 stores by the end of 2015. Globally, the brand operates over 2,750 stores in 40 countries. Ishwar is a founding member and director of the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers and has over 35 years of retail and marketing experience in the region. He also serves as member and director of the Retail Business Group. Ishwar Chugani studied business management at De La Salle University in the Philippines, where he graduated with honors.
Ishwar, welcome to the studio.
Thanks, Shane. It's a pleasure to be here today.
I'm sorry, I had a bit of a tongue twister with both your last name and your brand. So it's Chugani and it's Giordano.
Yes.
Okay, great. Apologies. Hopefully, I will get this tongue under control over the next hour. But I wanted to thank you so much for coming and taking the time on your Thursday night to give back to the community and share some of your success stories. Can you tell us a little bit about how it started? Because you do have kind of a very diverse background. You're originally, I guess your heritage is Indian in one sense, but you're Filipino born and you live in the Middle East and you have businesses all over the world. So it's pretty exciting.
Well, let me take you back to 1979. It was my last year of university. I was also running the largest family entertainment center in the Philippines, and I met some people from Dubai who were building the Al Ghurair Center, and they wanted me to come to Dubai, and out of a sense of adventure I said, why not? And I come from the Sindhi community, and we're all business people, and in fact I was the first one in the family who left and decided to move out, and everybody thought that there could have been a problem because we had our own businesses at home. And I still decided to come to Dubai. It was not a very tough decision at first, but when I came, everybody said that I would give up in 3 months. And as a face saving, the first few months coming here was very tough. But I guess if you have patience and perseverance and you like what you're doing, nothing is impossible. And from the time I joined the group, I always thought that I work with them and not for them. So I've always taken this entrepreneurial spirit and sense of ownership from the day I've joined the company, and that's why I'm here till today.
Wow, so you started, there was no Giordano. I'm saying it right now, so I've progressed. There was no Giordano, and you built it up to 240 stores. But a lot of people, when they look at someone like you, you're a huge success. That's a massive number of stores, but nobody really realizes the naysayers. Like you said, when you first started out, people didn't think you were going to make it. There was all that negative kind of inertia that you have to overcome. How do you deal with that?
Well, I think as long as you trust and enjoy what you're doing, and if you work hard, I'll say the 4 H's. You love what you're doing, so you have, it's your heart. You work hard, it's your hands. You have your head, so you think. So it's a 3H, and as you keep going and enjoying what you're doing, you'll definitely achieve something. Like we never thought we would reach 50 stores in our first 10 years of operation. And today, we complete 20 years next year. We have reached 23 countries and 240 stores.
Wow. So it's a huge success story. I like you're the first one with the 3 H's. I had Samir Al Ansari who's a chartered accountant with the ICAW, and he used to be the CFO of Duval and so many other things, CEO of Schwa Capital. He had the 3 Ps: purpose, passion, and people. But I think heart, and I like how you placed them. I don't know if you did that on purpose, if heart, in your opinion, is the most important.
Yeah, I think anything that you do in personal or professional life, you first have to love what you're doing. And then once you really like what you're doing, then it's the hard work and common sense, which is your head, that takes you forward.
Right. I think Richard Branson echoes your sentiments. So great minds think alike. He said, if you don't love what you're doing, then stop doing it and start applying yourself into that. But I think for a lot of executives who are managing a career out there, they don't realize that your biggest asset is your energy. The amount of energy that you're putting into your job when you're doing something you don't like or you're in a toxic work environment, your energy just tapers right off. I think I was in a job once I didn't really like. I was taking about 10 or 12 coffees a day just to get through that work day. It was so off. I don't know how you feel energy plays into it.
I think it's very important. Even when you meet people for the first time, it's either positive or negative. And you can continue the conversation if the energy and vibes are positive. And running a company with over 800 people, wow, you have to convey this positive energy across all levels of the company, from top to the bottom up. Because if there is negativity anywhere, it can spoil the entire plan of what you want to do. So I think it's very important to have positive energy and to convey that to everyone.
Right, and that is very difficult, managing 800 people. I think there was a study that was done said that only 10% of companies actually execute their strategies. And from an executive search perspective, when we're looking at chief executives, we always want to know how do they get the frontline staff to take ownership of the strategy. I always use the example, if you have a rental car, you're not going to take that for an oil change, for example, because you're just going to do the bare minimum to services. And that's what a lot of employees do in their companies. They do the bare minimum to get through their day, just like you would the bare minimum service you give to a rental car. They're basically renting the strategy to survive. I don't know if that echoes what you think of that.
Well, at Giordano, for us, your company's culture is very important. And how you communicate this to your people, the sense of ownership. Emotion is very important. Today, both customers shop based on emotions. And you have to ensure that the emotions of your people are also positive. How do you convey this to them? How do you convey the feeling of security to your people, that they know that the company is there for them? That's very important.
How do you get that ownership feeling across? I think you have some very interesting organizational structure and different techniques you use.
Well, from the beginning, I always said to myself that I don't work for anyone. I've always had this mentality that I work with the company. They need me, I need them, and I also convey that to the employees, that when we hire you, it's because we need you, and we're there for you, and you work with us. And you give them this sense of ownership and empower them to run the company as their own, you can take your company to greater heights.
I think also you are fairly risque in your approach, or avant-garde approach, that you've actually created a committee within the organization that can override you.
Yes, I have a very participative style of management. I'm not a one-man show. Giordano is where it is today because of my team. Without them, we would not have been able to do what we have done, and we look forward to taking the company to the next level. When we created this management committee, these are three of the most senior people within the company, and their role is to even overrule me if I make mistakes or if I have to take a decision. And their role is to come up and identify areas of strategy, key areas of growth, identify weak points within the company. They will also communicate across all sectors of the company and then come to me and see where do we take the company to the next level.
I think ownership is such an important concept, not just for an organization, but also for the executive who's looking to drive his career forward. So many people, and this may sound crazy, they don't actually take ownership of their own careers. And I really like the quote of Andy Grove, who's the founder of Intel. Intel, obviously a fairly successful company. And he said, nobody owes you a career. You have to own it like an entrepreneur. You're in business by yourself, and you're competing against millions of other companies every day for your job. So invest in yourself, develop yourself, and own that career. And I think that's such a different way of thinking. And I think it sounds, when I hear your story, one of the threads of the fabric of your success.
Well, I definitely agree with what you said. Till about 6 or 7 years ago, I was very much hands-on. I tried to micromanage everything. I tried to centralize everything, that I have to be involved in everything. Then I realized I was missing out. I was missing out on strategic issues, company growth, because I was getting myself involved in every minor thing in the company. So what I decided was, why not break it down into parts? So we have a business head in Saudi Arabia, we have a business head in Kuwait, in India, in the UAE. We have a business head who handles our wholesale business. So at the end of the day, each of them are responsible for each of this sector as a profit center, and it frees me to look at new growth opportunities, strategies, expansion, and we actually opened more stores and more markets in the last 5 years than what we did in the last 15 years.
Wow.
And one more thing, if God forbid someone moves on or something happens, I have to worry about 1/5 or 1/6 of the company and not the entire company. And the show goes on.
These are the secrets of success of Ishwar Chugani, Managing Director of Giordano. Heard the importance of heart, hands, and head, and the key concepts of having emotion in your business, positive energy, taking ownership. Stay with us. We're going to be looking at the other secrets of success and strategies of getting to the top. Hi, Dubai. Welcome back to Eye on Careers. I'm your host, Shane Phillips. This show looks at everything you need to become more successful in your career. I have an amazing guest, Mr. Ishwar Chugani, the Managing Director of Giordano. Ishwar, welcome back to the show. And Ishwar was just sharing with us his 3H theory of success: heart, hands, and head. Heart, you have to love what you're doing. Hands, you got to work hard. You got to roll up the sleeves and get in there. And head, you got to work smart, not just harder. Ishwar, I really like your concepts of ownership and how you've really delegated parts of the business. But 240 stores, that's a lot of work. That's in 20 plus years. I mean, where do you get your inspiration and energy to do all this?
Well, before you say 240 stores, I know of companies here who have done 500, even 1,000 stores. But the challenge is 240 stores with one single brand. And that's the difference. Inspiration to me comes in various forms. My family who keep me grounded, my team who demonstrate determination and dedication, the brand Giordano and its phenomenal success, and lastly, the challenges that we encounter on a daily basis. Being involved in Giordano from its inception has inspired me in many ways, but the most important inspiration comes from one of our core values, which is simplicity. When you keep things simple, operations are streamlined, and this allows speed, which in turn allows the creation of value. Because time is money, and by keeping matters consistently simple, you can offer your customers the convenience of knowing where to get their basic apparel problem solved. And this is part of our service philosophy.
Wow, that sounds great. I mean, I like the part where you're talking about dedication, because so often I talk to individuals in the market, and they say, the Middle East is transitory, and our employees come and they go. And I said, no, it's human psychology. Nobody wants to change their job. Nobody wants to go through that, it's my first day at school again feeling. We're resistant to change. And the other factor is, by nature, humans are tribal. All throughout history, they've clung together. Loyalty is part of human nature, and if you're not fostering it as a manager, then you're not managing correctly, in my opinion. And when you talk about your organization, the dedication, loyalty, the ownership, I would imagine you have a fairly low turnover rate.
Well, 80% of the management team have been with us over 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Turnover happens not because people are not happy with the company. It's because maybe they have to go back due to personal reasons. I will always tell my people, if you find something better that enhances your career, please feel free to go, but make us proud, because whatever we teach you here at Giordano. And people are very important to the company because it's people that make the difference. It's people that take your brand forward. It's people that show your brand to the customers. So for me, if you ask me, what's made Giordano where it is today, it's the people, the positive energy, and the positive emotions, and their sense of ownership.
And I think that stands true across pretty much every industry, and especially professional services, because I was just speaking with the CEO of a bank here in the region not too long ago, and he was looking at one of his head roles, and I said, this is the ultimate marketing assignment, because the head of this department is going to be the face of your bank to the customer. It's going to be the first touch point of your brand. So the image, the feel, everything of this individual is really important. We are now heading into a very interesting period of time, and I think at the beginning of the show, Ms. Reem Albana was sharing some of the headlines, and on one hand, what people are saying, we're heading off a fiscal cliff. On the other hand, people are saying we're heading into the greatest moment of prosperity we ever had. In one minute they're saying, we're going to have this political issue. The next minute we're saying, it's no problem, we're moving forward, everything's great. Change, the only constant is change. So where does strategy land in an environment where the only constant is change? Your strategy could be obsolete by the end of the week. Is tactics now more important than strategy? Is tactics your number one greatest asset over strategy?
I would say that because our company is very lean, no bureaucracy, layers of management is to a minimum, speed is very important, and the tactic that we have, when you keep things simple, you're nimble, you're flexible, you can easily change as and when the markets change. So it's very important that if you really need you have to have speed to do that change. And if you have too much clutter, too much bureaucracy, too many layers, you may miss the bus. And at Giordano, you've been to our office today. It's the atmosphere that we create where it's an open door policy. My office door never closes. Communication is very important, not only within the company here, but globally as a group. We share communications. We are very proactive in what we do.
Right. Agility is the way forward in the 21st century. Do you feel? I think when you look back in the 80s and 90s, it was centralization of shared services, creating efficiency, standardization of processes, which works fine when you're in a homogeneous geography. But when you're working across 40 countries, you can't have standardized processes. You have to have agility to move with the markets. And do you feel this is really going to be the differentiator as we head into the next stage of development in the 21st century? The most agile companies, the fastest companies will be the ones who survive?
Definitely. One of the reasons why Giordano actually were able to expand into 40 countries is more than half of that happened from the Middle East office. Because of the culture and the diversity, we have 22 nationalities within our Middle East operations. And if you see the geographic location of Dubai, within 5 hours you have Africa, Central Asia, Eastern Europe. So the opportunities there are endless. And that's the reason why Giordano International just recently set up a 100% owned logistics center in the Free Zone. And that's going to be the group's second command center outside Asia. And all future business and expansion will happen from this Middle East office.
So you actually, as we were talking about this earlier on the show, and that more business owners now are choosing Dubai as their global headquarters because of the positioning globally.
Definitely. One is geographical location, 2, ease in doing business, and 3, accessibility in terms of transport, people, logistics. It's much easier than to have it all the way in China or Hong Kong, and also having people speaking different nationalities.
You find it's much more a diverse mix here, which serves well when you're dealing with the different different countries. I just wanted to touch again quickly on agility and how this transfers to the individual who's managing your career in the 21st century. Now, it's important to be able to move with the markets, but you don't want to be too diversified or jumping industries in reaction. Doesn't mean changing industries. That does not mean today I'm in IT and tomorrow I'm going to be in HR because of that. I mean, you are reinventing yourself within your vertical. And that's one of the things that I think, I was just with Amit Damani of Damani Jewels, and they have focused in the jewelry business for the last couple generations, right? And this is where they really get an edge. And it's how do you evolve within your vertical? And I don't know if that makes sense with you.
Well, even within Giordano, we always try to evolve. Every day is a new day. We have to keep reinventing ourselves in terms of product, in terms of our shop look and design, coming up with new stuff like our online sales. We have sub-brands like Giordano Junior, Giordano Concepts, BSX. So within the group itself, we create new brands. So every day is a new day, it's a new learning, and we have to keep coming up with something relevant so that people keep coming back to us.
So, and I would say if you are out there and you're not very happy with your role, if we took, for example, the retail business, if you were in marketing and you wanted, don't change industries, you can move within retail, go into operations, go into manufacturing, you could even go into media, there's fashion TV, there's, if you look at Raza Big, he's across everything. He's from buying to designing to, he does it all, right? So, redefine yourself within your silo and don't lose the market equity of years and years of experience that you've accumulated within that one sector. So do you feel it's better to be niche or diversified when you look at a wealth creation strategy?
Well, I guess it's each one to its own. There are both positive and negative sides. One is to have too many brands and you can actually expand and you have the benefit of getting better deals and location. However, with a single brand like ours, it's like you have one child and you nurture it, take care of it, and build it, and slowly see how it grows. So I guess it depends on how the business is. In our case, we were a joint venture with the principals from day one. So we were partners with Giordano International, so our focus was just Giordano.
Wow. This is Ishwar Chugani, Managing Director of Giordano. Coming up, we'll be hearing his advice for the up-and-coming executive, so stay with us. Hello, Dubai, and welcome back to Eye on Careers. I'm your host, Shane Phillips, and we are live in the studio with Mr. Ishwar Chugani, the Managing Director of Giordano. Ishwar, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you, Shane.
And Ishwar, you've really been sharing your secrets of success with us. What would be your tips for someone who wants to be the boss?
Well, I think communication is very important. But it's not what you communicate, but how you communicate. Because if you do not communicate things in the right way, no matter what you say or what you communicate, it won't work. It won't add value. Secondly, you need to share your knowledge. And I think the more you share and you express yourself and also talk to your people and get them to share, you can learn a lot from them. The third, always support your employees to grow, because when they grow, you grow. And that's very important.
Right. I always like to say if you can't be promoted unless you can be replaced. And so if you want to grow the people under you, have to be coming up, right, to push you to the next level.
And at Giordano, we believe in a reverse funnel. We don't take people from the top. Everybody comes from the bottom, and then they keep growing up. So some of our top managers have all come from the bottom end. They've all grown with the company. And when people see that and they see the opportunity, wow, he's come in as an assistant or a data entry operator, and he's now the head of one of our largest markets.
So that's a true story. He came in as a data entry clerk, and now he's the head of
one of our largest markets. And my personal assistant in Dubai now heads India.
Wow.
So and when you're able to do that, and you create entrepreneurs or leaders from your own people, then the people at the bottom will say, "Wow, there is opportunity in this company."
an exciting company. It sounds like, I don't know if you know Ajay Bindru from Supermax. He won CEO of the Year Masala Award. He's got the same thing. You know, someone joins him as a secretary. Next thing you know, they're a brand manager. They're taking our country, and that high growth is very, very exciting. But we talk so much about your wins and all the success you've done. When have you, and I mean, even Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball of all time, has dropped the ball once or twice. What are some of those mistakes, and what have been the big learnings?
Well, if I have to look back and if I had to redo things maybe 10 years ago when the markets were booming, I was very adamant, and our partners over here said, go and get new brands. But I was just one track focus on Giordano.
Right.
Okay. If I have to look back before the other big companies, because a lot of other companies came in after us, and today they have 30, 40 brands, I would have reconsidered, since we had the back end, we had the expertise, we already knew how to run a retail business. If I had to redo things, I would have taken many other brands.
You would have? Because I would disagree that success in the future belongs to the niche specialist, and maybe your niche is running retail businesses. So you're right. Maybe you obviously have the right infrastructure to do it. But for the executive, if you're out there and you're thinking about managing your career, I say focus on becoming a niche specialist. That will be the future for you as a global marketplace. You can pull top from anywhere. I have a question here from the audience. What is your working hours? How many hours do you work? Are you a workaholic, basically? I think they're asking you.
I can actually run the company on 2 hours a day, but I'm always available for the people because each of the markets run on their own. My role is more now guidance and strategy. Having my laptop with me, I have real-time access to 2,000 stores. So with the internet, I can actually work from my home office or from my office. I don't visit the stores as much as I used to, but then the business heads do that. But wherever possible, whenever I go shopping with the family, the first thing I do is go see Giordano and talk to the staff.
Wow. So you rewrote the book. One book was the 4-hour work week. You've now got it down to a 2-hour work week.
No, it's not really 2 hours. I'm a 24/7 person. If I have to work the whole day, I would. If I have to work for an hour, I would. Basically, as and when I'm needed, I'm always there for my people and the company.
So for other people running businesses who want to follow in your footsteps, what other tips do you have to creating a similar structure? And how will we do that? I mean, how do we get to the point where you can work from home and do all these things?
Well, I think the first thing you need to see is a company's culture is the ultimate competitive advantage for any company. Competitors can steal your products, services, or even your employees. However, they cannot steal a great company culture. And if you can imbibe that to your people, and if you can convey that to your people, nothing's going to stop the company from growing. Okay? People change, products change, but your company culture is very important.
That's what, and when we're doing executive search for leadership roles, we always look at the role of leadership being the culture creator. You're creating culture, and that's your main strategic differentiator. I would definitely agree with you there. What would be your advice for the up-and-coming executive who wants to follow in your footsteps?
The advice that I gave myself entering India is patience and perseverance. A lot of the young people today, the first thing they come into the company is, what's in it for me? Money, money, money. I think monetary gain in your life comes step by step and not overnight. I know I see a lot of CVs coming where people jump jobs every 6 months, every year. And there is a positive side to it because a person then tries to grow the ladder each time. But at the same time, you also have to be patient. You have to like what you're doing. You have to persevere, work hard, and then the rest comes after that. You need to find out what you like and then move in that direction. Very often when I ask and interview people, why do you want to work with us? And if they say money, I wouldn't take them.
Right, right.
They need to first like the company. Or if they haven't done a research of who we are or what the company is like, means they're not even bothered to know about the company.
Right. So, and in that there's a vision, right? That the person has to have a vision. working for? Like, do they see yourself working? How important is vision?
Vision is very important. I think whenever people come, they want to see where the company is headed. They want to see that there is a clear objective and direction. We have now just changed, like with the new setup of the Jebel Ali, whatever we did in the last 20 years, we know we can achieve in the next 5 to 7 years because the opportunities are endless. We're looking at recreating what we've done in the Middle East, possibly in Central Asia, or Africa is the next big frontier. We've already put some people on the ground there, and that's a market that I myself am very excited about.
Wow. So some big plans on the horizon for Giordano. Here's one of the audience saying, I've known Ishwar for the past 23 years. Apart from being successful, he's very kind and a humble gentleman. My children, now grown up, still call him Uncle Sinbad. Well done, Ishwar. Regards from Sunil. So I think you have a few fans out there. And Sinbad, maybe should we just tell quickly what Sinbad was for those people who are in the new millennium generation, maybe not aware of it?
Sinbad was the first family entertainment center here. Every local in Dubai or anyone who's lived here from 1997 and earlier knows Sinbad. And it's a very great talking point for me because every local I meet, all I have to say is Mudir Sindabad, because it was the only place for them to come. It was just when we spoke to Reem and you could see her face glow when she heard Sinbad, because it was the only family entertainment center, the only place for you to have a birthday party, and I'm talking 33 years ago.
Wow. Well, that is quite a difference. So now you're in retail. You're not in the amusement anymore.
It's all about people. It's all about making people happy. It's all about serving customers.
And so you're driving that service delivery. I think what I liked when I was talking to you about customer service, you said that the key tenet of customer service is knowledge.
Yes. Nowadays, it's no more hi, hello. It's no more smiles. In the new information age and the digital economy, you need to ensure your people have sufficient knowledge to deal with your customers, because customers of today have more information and they want to know more. Why should they buy this T-shirt from you and not someone else? So your staff or your employees should actually be able to explain to the customer what's the unique benefit of these items.
And that goes back to anyone who's looking at managing their career. Know your business, know your industry, know who the players are, know who the competitors are. Get that depth of knowledge. Educate yourself on your sector. But Ishwar, I wanted to thank you so much for coming out on the show, taking the time to share your secrets to success, tips for being the boss, tips for running your business. I don't know if you have any last tidbits for us.
Well, I have. It's 4 words, and if you put the four letters together, it's actually quite funny. It's SHIT. The importance of being sincere, being humble, having integrity and trust. If you have these 4 things with you and you can instill that within your own people, nothing's going to stop you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ishwar. And I won't sound out that acronym, but thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Shane. Been a pleasure.
And I have to go visit your Giordano stores now. And by the way, for people who can't see Ishwar, he's dressed in Giordano, not because he runs the company, because he loves the brand. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.